think it's cheese over there for immunity. Looking confident coming into this one. It's not the Swain. It's anything but.
Well, I like to think that it's the Swain. Of course, I just really enjoy that pick, and I'm not even ashamed about it, Spawn. Don't even worry about it. But we are going to head into this game. I'm excited to see how this one's going to work. Of course, in the last round, the most important fact is the fact that, look, Legacy looking like a second-place team, but they lost to Avant.
Yeah, they certainly did. You know, Legacy's dropped the game against the Chiefs, and Avant's one of the other teams to take one away, and they did it with a really cool comp. They ran an Ashe, they ran a LeBlanc, able to get a lot of picks going, but it's the man in the jungle. Shelby has such a good record against Legacy Esports, and he was able to really bully Carbon around in the jungle.
Yeah, of course, Carbon finishing that game 0-7, unfortunately. Of course, Rek'Sai not necessarily one of the go-to junglers here for Carbon. Did actually have a decent stint on it when she first came out. Of course, built a Trinity Force and went completely ballistic, but that wasn't one of these games. Really was kept down, and it was the early pressure available to the Gragas in the hands of Shelby that really got things done for this side.
Yeah, so it got it going, and then you take a look at the comp. It's just got pick written all over. You got the Ashe to set up with the CC. Then you've got the Thresh to lock it down, the LeBlanc to jump over, clean it up. If it ever gets into an AoE team fight, you can never underestimate Porky's Nah. Just everywhere on the Rift. And I think that both Shelby and Kensty had something ridiculous like 10-4.
10-3-14, I believe,
10-3-14
at the end. And they were both had the same. So, of course, hanging out a fair bit on the Rift.
Yeah, they certainly were. And over the other side of the Rift, Carbon had an absolute shocker. I remember that one. It was 0-7, I believe, coming through
0-7-2, I believe.
Yeah, so not having the best one. And it was from start and finish, a very dominant performance. We mentioned earlier in the night, since the end of last year, 6-3, I think, is the record between Avant and Legacy. Avant seemed to have the answer to this matchup.
Yeah, exactly. So, of course, losing in the final as well as the biggest point here. Of course, we mentioned the fact that Nada was previously playing for this lineup on Avant, but has since moved over to Direwolves now, spent the whole first split not necessarily playing for a team, has only just moved back in, but now a different Avant lineup with a different bottom lane, now looking to try and take down Legacy one more time this split.
Yeah, it certainly is, but Destiny, once again, a very aggressive support. Loves the Alistair, loves the Thresh coming through there. So some similarities to Nada. You have to say that they are the utility pairing in the lane. It really is about the Porky, Kensty, and Shelby carrying with all the, I guess, pick potential that came out of the bottom lane, but we are into Champion Select.
Yeah, we are well and truly into Champion Select here, ladies and gentlemen, as Maokai and Echo are going to be removed at the beginning by Legacy, and Azir Kalista are going to be the answer there for that one. We'll see whether the last ban is going to be aimed towards that jungle, because, of course, I guess Echo, the only real ban aimed there just yet, and we mentioned that that is a pretty important matchup, and whether or not Carbon gets on the Nunu, I think is going to be a big deal, because he's found so much comfort there.
Yeah, I certainly agree, but, you know, Shelby will be more than happy to fight a Nunu in the jungle. Fizz also gets removed here. Yeah, he just very good at counter jungling. I actually think Shelby is one of the smarter jungles in the OPL, able to really mind game a lot of junglers out. When you think he's going to counter jungle, he really does gank heavily, and vice versa very well. So we'll see whether it is something like the Gragas he goes back towards and tries to have an impact in the early game.
Well, we'll see if we can actually get that one. Of course, Legacy now with the first pick are able to choose that one, but last ban to come through from Avant. 3 seconds to go. They're really taking their time making their choice here, and Nunu is going to be the ban away from Carbon.
Yeah, it certainly is. They don't want him on that. They want Shelby to be able to bully him again. I like the respect ban of the Azir as well. Choo Choo's has mentioned that he does like to play it. Also, you have to mention the Varus Victor, things like this that he's been playing a lot recently, but they started off with something, I guess, very basic.
Well, of course, Flying Dew there on the massive engaged support of Alistair. And if any player has really stood out on Legacy, to me, it's been Flying Dew. This guy has been playing so exceptionally well. And filling the shoes of Ejim, who left the squad, looks easily on par.
Yeah, exactly right. Dew's been really good. And even last week in their victory, able to really, with Thresh it was, get in the mid lane's face, make sure that he was the one starting up all these plays. And when you have a support player that is as dangerous as Dew, it just gives you another threat that other teams necessarily don't have. And around the map from minute one, he always is that guy that just is outright brute aggressive and tries to make the plays.
Yeah, definitely brute force does come to mind when it comes to Flying Dew, and now on a champion that definitely facilitates that. AV hovering a couple of picks with only 7 seconds to go here. Victor and Morgana. See whether they are going to get locked in here, of course. Destiny considering that one, but the Rek'Sai for Chelby decides to give up the Gragas and go for even more early aggression.
Yeah, arguably more early aggression. I still prefer Gragas in that area. Rek'Sai has a really good first clear, though, which is worth noting.
Yep.
Gragas also does. You know, they're interchangeable. I guess one does AD damage and the other one doesn't. There you go. I found the difference. One was a global ultimate.
So you can at least move around the map a whole lot when you are that Rek'Sai as well. And, of course, Twisted
Gragas.
Fate. The body slam, global body slam. That would be definitely a season 1 maneuver, I could imagine. But we're talking about AV here. They've got Kensti on the lineup. Do you think that Choo Choo's now is considering taking away a Twisted Fate? Because I'm looking at this squad thinking that could be 3 globals available.
That's a
Wait,
Victor.
that's a Victor. I'm done. I am done. Unless it's a support Victor. Who knows?
Yeah,
I've just got my producer in my ear saying that I'm a complete moron as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been so much fun. I
I
get really excited about certain combos that I just completely lose track of everything else. But Legacy now, thankfully saving me from this one because they are going to lock in the Gragas and the Sivir. So Sivir once again getting through.
Yeah, it certainly is, and that's a lot of engage coming through there. You got the Gragas, you've got the Alistair, so Choo Choo's. Every single time I see any knock up and all, I'm like, he's going to play Yasuo.
Yeah, but the mid lane's already been... Oh, hang on, wait, no. Sorry, I'm trying to get my own back here. Just try and tread on water. Don't worry about it. AV now considering their next 2 picks here in response to what is a pretty engage-heavy comp.
Yeah, we'll have to see whether they're able to get any form of disengage. They haven't picked their support, so Janna, something like that, definitely still available. They could also go super safe in the top lane, maybe lock in a Maokai, who is that disengaged top laner. But we'll have to see what they do want to go for right now, considering a Nautilus.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure whether I like the idea of the Maokai there in the top lane. I like Porky on a champion that can potentially carry on this one, but Nautilus has been considered by Kensti to give into the hands of Destiny, and is that enough disengage for this squad?
Or Porky, you know, we've seen a lot of top lane Nautilus right now, and it is something that scales okay with levels, has a lot of CC in his kit. Still don't understand what part of the role he fits really well, so...
Maybe he's like Garen.
No, he's not. He's better at early levels than Garen. But Warble is on a long-range AD carry, should be able to bully Tallywacker around.
Well, we'll see whether he can get things done. Of course, AV now with a fair bit of sort of mid-game pressure as well. You mentioned the fact that Victor pretty strong at most states of the game, especially considering the fact that now I can remember that he's in the game. Legacy, oh, Tallywacker. Hovering is Riven. That is definitely giving nightmares to the Chiefs, of course. His Riven play was fantastic, but not going to be playing it this time because he's in a completely different role, just giving us a little bit of a trip down memory lane. But how does the old Nautilus Caitlyn lane work?
So most lanes with Caitlyn really is about Caitlyn as the AD carry, which is why she synergizes well with things like Janna, things like Nami, because it's really about her auto attack. No one really can go with her from that distance. So Nautilus, it's more about the kite back, the pure late game, the ability to lock something down. Also gives you this flexibility of being able to, wow, that's some power picks. It gives you this flexibility of being able to pick a support that doesn't necessarily have to play the lane very well.
Yeah, but let's move on to those power picks, Spawn, because right away we've got Ryze and Yasuo being locked in here for Legacy. Massive ones. How Ryze escaped the ban lists entirely and then got round to the last round on blue side is completely beyond me. Of course, has had a few changes now on this patch.
I believe Minky was... Did he lose on Ryze? I can't remember.
Rosie lost on Ryze. Minky won, I believe.
He got first blooded underneath turret. I know.
Yeah, he was in a bouncy castle.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Oh, no, they did win that game.
They
That was when
ended up
Carbon
winning.
was in. Yep. But we're going to see another farm experiment come through from Choo Choo's right now. He grabbed the Yasuo. He maxes Q first. Doesn't go with the E aggressive lane, I don't believe, unless he's changed something up recently. And we'll see whether he goes super aggressive and just tries to farm up the storm, be the late game carry.
Yeah, and at the moment, we've got a few interesting considerations coming through from Avant, hovering over a Jarvan 4 at the moment.
This is the outright counter pick. Jarvan top lane, especially all AD, completely smashes Ryze at every stage of the game. Ryze will not live through the combo. Doesn't even matter if you CC him down. So Porky has pulled out something very aggressive. That and Jin Zhao are my 2 favorite picks against Ryze right now, because he just cannot deal with them in lane.
So wait, not the Shen? Minky Whale didn't have the hard counter in mind when he went the Banner of Command Shen?
That was actually really smart for what Atlas is referencing, and I give a lot of credit to Minky Whale, another person I think is a really smart League of Legends player. He built the Banner of Command first item. Shen was able to push out lanes incredibly quickly. That's what Sunfire Cape normally does. But Ryze also just can't kill the buffed up creep. only does magic damage in his kit. Auto attacks don't do too much, and that creep was lasting forever.
Yeah, most certainly was. But now a different option to be taken here from Porky. And I mentioned the fact that, of course, we do like to see Porky on champions that can do a lot of damage, really get things done in a team fight. Full AD Jarvan is going to fit that one pretty well.
Yeah, we don't know whether that is the build he's going to go yet. Of course, he can go slightly tankier, but from what we have seen in other regions, it has been like even Infinity Edge after Yomu's Ghostblade coming through there, doing a lot of damage. You just get the GA. We'll also be able to deal with a split push coming through from Tally relatively well. Yasuo has a lot of outplay potential, but you cannot outplay point and click, Cataclysm, auto attack, Hydra proc, which will probably kill Yasuo at that point of the game. So, you know, going to have to be very careful and make sure that he's only split pushing in the windows he can.
Yeah, and Choo-Choo sort of will be wanting to eat up a lot of that side lane farm, but of course Jarvan more than happy to get around there as well. If he fights outside of a minion wave as well after Choo-Choo's has used that E in order to close distance, Cataclysm's going to hold that Yasuo down for a whole lot of time as well.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's just damage that comes out of Cataclysm late game from Jarvan that really is relevant, especially when he's played that Assassin in the top lane. And they have the tank in the support position. Nautilus will get tanky late game. Chelby will also be really tanky. They have double knock-up on the side of Avant right now, and very good team fight to be able to follow up on all that damage.
Yeah, and of course now with the fact that there is the Gragas barrel there to try and get people in the sky, and the fact that Flying Jew is playing around on that Alistair means that there's knockups for days to synergize on the side of Legacy at the same time. So looking beautiful. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure you head over to Twitter. Use that hashtag LGCwin if you think Legacy are going to take this one, or use the hashtag AVWin if you think Avant Garde have got this in the bag. But both of these team comps with clear ideas in mind, and maybe the laning phase a little bit more in favor of Avant, I guess, in the top side. Does that mean we're going to see a lane swap spawn?
Well, Ryze actually needs a lot of farm to get going. You don't want to be set behind because he needs the roll by 18 minutes. Otherwise, he just takes too long to get going. So I expect them to just try and run the standard lanes. Carbon needs to be very active here and keep Chelby in check. But I honestly love both compositions. Everyone throwing damage on the board. Get rid of the tank top meta. That is no fun. Go for the Ryze, go for the Jarvan, and we'll see who can, I guess, position themselves correctly around these fights. Because something you have to say, both Rek'Sai and Jarvan, once they get in, do not get out well at all.
No, it's a little bit like you just mentioned. You spoke about the fact that one of the counter picks that you enjoy is Xin Zhao, very similar to his playstyle. Press E, and you're in there for quite some time. Yeah. You're not moving unless you've taken flash, and only wusses take flash on Xin Zhao.
Exactly right. You know, you just don't do that there. But we'll see whether they are able to execute. I think a little bit easier on the side of Avant because they have a mage in the mid lane that's going to do a lot of AoE damage and a very long range AD carry. But then again, if they're able to layer that wombo combo, get Ryze going, all that AoE damage, if you get Choo-Choos into a fight, Tallywhacker shredding across everyone, these team fights look to be over in pretty quick fashion.
Yeah, and it's all about execution for both sides as well. You can look at both lineups and think, oh man, if that gravity field's in the right position, if Chelby gets in there, gets a really nice knock-up, there's a whole lot of burst damage and AoE to come through from all of these members. But on the other side of the rift, you've got exactly the same situation and a massive range of engage. I really love the fact that the last breath, massive range, barrel as well, pretty huge range at the same time. And if Carbon and Choo-Choos are able to synergize nicely, then they can get fights going whenever they feel like.
Yeah, exactly right. And you know, you wouldn't put past you wouldn't list synergy issues something in Legacy's toolbox right now. They certainly are playing as a team on the same page. So I can't wait. I'm honestly super excited. Both these champion selects look fantastic on paper.
Yeah, they certainly do. And as well, we need to mention just lastly the fact that Gragas and Rek'Sai switched positions this time. But we are going to throw it back to Pastry Time and Rusty to take us into the game.
Thank you very much, Alison. I'm excited to spawn here. This was already going to be possibly the game of the evening. Avant Legacy, lots of points on the line. Legacy still trying to get closer to that second place spot. Avant honestly creeping in towards playoff contention here as well. Lots on the line here. We're late into the season, Rusty.
Yeah, both teams trying to cement their position for the finals. There's the end of this split coming very close to fruition, and both team comps, exactly what they both want. Very interesting from both teams.
Yeah, really cool stuff. Again, Spawn was excited about the comps. We like them in here as well. There's just so much going on. I love, though, the throwback to the Choo-Choos Yasuo. We saw him play it a little bit more. Had kind of a split push game on it. Looks solid. They've still got those mechanics in place.
Yeah.
But this is a team built around Choo-Choos and that Yasuo pick.
Yeah, they've essentially got the Yasuo delivery system in a way, is that they knock people around so that he can choose whenever he would like in the team fight, because there are so many options for him to do so. In saying that, we'll see if he wants to consistently team fight or split push against the Jarvan.
Yeah, and we talked about we saw in the top lane there as well. Spawn made the very apt point. Minky could struggle here. So how this early game plays out, as always, going to be important. We even have the Caitlyn Sivir matchup once again here for 2 games running. So Warble might be able to get an edge on Tally. Was very impressed by Tally Sivir last game. I think it was one of his best AD carry games of the split.
Oh, he's got it.
We'll have to see what happens. Very nice reset on the ward, though. First CS goes to Tallywhacker.
10 gold advantage here to Legacy. Avant, you can't match that. Sorry, mate.
Nope, not enough attack speed runes there for that one. As we are seeing both teams sort of try and get a bit of vision around the neutral areas. Choo-Choos will roam in, actually, but he's found Shelby. Uh-oh.
30 seconds until
Never mind. Gonna just hang out.
As they
I guess Choose is confident that Destiny
Rosie.
has a actually couple auto attacks going down. Choo-Choos wants to fight, apparently. Find Shelby. Yasuo's level 1 damage, not bad. But yeah, they'll back away. That was an interesting trade.
They're all going to walk out and say wrecked. That's about it. There's
Everyone's
nothing from
going
that.
back on Avant as well, just to get a bit of extra health into their HP bars. That was, I guess, again, very confident from Choo-Choos that Destiny didn't start Hook. Because he would have gotten hooked there if he did.
It was almost like a spell assessment
Yeah.
right there. Is what did you start Destiny? I dare you to start Hook and have a very hard time in laning phase with only the Hook available. In saying that, we are looking at standard lanes, so we are going to get the 2v2. Last game, we saw Sivir have a very hard time up against the Caitlyn. Shiny managing to get a very large CS advantage. We'll see if that continues to happen again this game, or if the Sivir can hold her own a bit better.
Yeah, we can see both duo lanes as well doing some buffs. Nope, never mind. Legacy denied. Carbon actually coming in to start the Krugs, but the Gromp is going to go to Warble and Destiny, so they'll have the early experience lead in the lane.
They will, and we'll see if Sivir wants to answer with that fast push right now. It would be very interesting to note how they play around the level 2 advantage in this bot lane, of course, but another point of action is always going to be in this mid lane as they are a Victor and a Yasuo.
Yeah, and this is an interesting matchup. We asked Choose, you know, he's been here providing some great analysis. What are your top 3 champions? And he said, I think rightly, Azir, Victor, Cassiopeia. This is not one of those, but Choo-Choo's level 2 looking to get aggressive.
Always look to get aggressive as that level 2 Yasuo. He doesn't find anything because the wave control has been fairly sparingly used right now. Victor able to put down a lot of pressure. But again, look to this mid lane for a lot of trading and fighting early. The same as bottom. We're going to see, especially top lane even while we're mentioning high trading, Jarvan's sole job is to make this lane hard for Minky. Yeah,
we kind of had a bit of the assessment from the guys outside in the war room earlier, but effectively as Shelby and Carbon
everyone
have a bit
wants
of a battle.
to trade.
They do apparently. 1v1 in the jungle is even here as Choose losing that trade there. I love the double exhaust in the mid lane too. Nobody wants to get exploded. Although Choose, getting exhausted. Forced to flash, a very nice early flash. Good tornado as well. Keeps himself safe, but that's a good summoner burnt by Shelby.
Yeah, nice summoner burnt, a very early gank. Carbon just saw him lying around, so maybe a small mistake to hang around so aggressively in the mid lane. He gets out with his life, but does have to use the flash, and maybe Shelby wants to come back around, or he's just going to go and have a look at the blue buff.
Really good smite from Carbon to get the Wolf Spirit to make sure that Shelby is spotted away. So Carbon will go back to even Minky coming down to try and provide some assistance. But to sort of talk about the lane thrust, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like Avant have 2 winning lanes and Legacy have 1.
I feel like it could go either way. The top lane in particular is always going to go in favor of the Jarvan, but in saying that, we're yet to really see the new Rise have a big go against Jarvan, having a lot more of a machine gun-esque combo with the passive now, not just the Q, might give a slight favor back to the Rise, but not by an exorbitant amount whatsoever. The Jarvan always going to be in control. And the bot lane is very minion controlled as to how the lane tends to go. You can see Nautilus never going to be able to hook the Sivir. The spell shield always available. And that's one of the better parts about this particular one-on-one matchup. In saying that, the range is always going to be heavily in favor of the Caitlyn. So if it comes down to straight up auto attack battles, the Caitlyn will come out ahead. Otherwise, if Tallywhacker can control the minion waves and not have to take as many autos, it's actually a fairly even lane.
Yep, and we can see that right now. Tally and Choose just playing nice and passive here on the bottom side, trying to keep that turret healthy. Carbon, though, snuck his way into the top side of the map now. Minky pushing it in is going to let the wave reset and go for maybe some sort of gank.
Porky's going to probably try to... No, he's not going to be able to freeze that one, just putting down the damage. Yep. Expecting Porky to come back onto him, I guess, is Carbon right now, but knowingly, that's not going to happen when there's minions.
Yep, too many minions here. More coming in, actually, and both of them will back away. We've had a Doran's Ring start for Minky. He'll get his tier, so that's nice and early.
The top lane has frozen now for Porky, though. He's able to just comfortably sit there in that lane and just try and get as many last hits as he can. Or will he push get as many items as he can to match Minky, who's going to go for a tier.
Yeah, it seems like both the top laners want to keep their teleports, so pushing up relatively aggressively on the initial item backs. Minky, like we said, has gone back here. Tier up already as Windwall's down there for Choose, making sure he clears the wave safely.
Yeah, not trying to take any damage at all right now as the mid laners are being very aggressive towards each other. In saying that, Choo-Choo's starting to ramp up, hitting near that level 6 mark, going to be very big for the Yasuo in terms of trading. Very difficult to do it ever against the Victor.
Yeah, and he's going double Dorans here actually as well. Maybe Carbon. Choose gets 6, they could line up a nice gank here for first blood.
They definitely could. A flash body slam and level 6 on Choo-Choo's. He's about 2 minion waves away from it, so it's not likely anytime soon. Carbon may want to go disappear, do the scuttle, perhaps come back, or even go bottom.
And I think the jungle matchup, like we heard from Spawn and Atlas, very important here in this particular matchup, and I agree. Carbon done a decent job so far. We saw the scuffle with Shelby earlier in the top side where he sort of lost out, but he's been keeping up pretty nicely on farm. Even going to find a Trinket Ward here in the bottom lane. It's flying Jew, flying in there onto Destiny, gets the pulverize down. Gonna lock him up, but Tallywhack a little too low, and Warble just firing back from 650 range.
Yeah, Tally already taking a lot of damage before that big fight broke out. Destiny and Warble quite content to sit around and just be massive pests. Meanwhile, though...
Yeah, Shelby with some nice pressure here. Minky playing a bit aggressive in this lane.
Level 6.
Oh, waiting for Porky, I think. He's not far off level 6.
Yeah, I think once he gets 6, it'll be the big go button. Or Shelby will get patient and go now.
There's Porky. They're baiting Minky. Minky's going in. It might be a little too late. Minky Whale wants to kill. Shelby is
He's
here.
6 now.
Oh, level 6 is here, but Shelby might have waited too late. He doesn't have a flash. There's no port left. Porky with the dunk. First blood. Oh my god, the shield might be enough. Porky comes back though, and first blood go to Avant.
A lot of damage onto both members. Mickey's still having the teleport so he can reset and come back into the lane. And you can see the new Rise and how comfortable he can be in terms of trading with the Jarvan. The fact that Shelby was already there biding his time, the very smart play from Avant, they find themselves the kill.
That was close. I think Shelby, I don't know what happened there, he was like checking the shop or something. He came in so late. Mickey flashed in and Shelby's like, yeah, I'm going to wait.
He came in late, but he also was a very slow Shelby. He doesn't have boots at the moment, even after having bought. So it took him a very long time to actually get in range. I guess it took him a little while to tunnel through, but in saying that, Minky's aggression was not necessarily expected.
No, I mean, yeah, he went all in onto Porky with that passive. So, again, Minky loves to win his lane. A very aggressive top lane. A good death ray there from Choose.
Nautilus is here, though.
Yeah, Destiny coming through. Ooh, knock up. Yeah, everyone walks away. Nobody wants to be near Yasuo with a tornado.
Not when you have little to no mana also. You do have 3 members nearby, Warble and Destiny, trying to be very big pests and rotating around the bottom to middle area of the map and controlling near the dragon buff. But the side of Legacy content with just farming right now, trying to get some big items before they consider an all-in fight.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some relatively hard-scaling champions as well as Shelby visiting the mid lane. They're not going to get something, in fact.
They're actually just trying to push so Kenzie can recall.
Not yet. Choose going to keep them pushed in. Knock up onto Shelby. Doesn't follow through, but Yasuo is just dominating these creep waves.
Yeah, bullying them, keeping him around right now. Kenzie, having no mana, does have to disappear. They could lose the dragon for this.
I feel like it has a CS lead as we pop down into the bottom lane.
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised by that. Legacy knowing the mid-back timer there as well. Really smart rotation onto the dragon. What on earth was that?
I'm telling you, Minky Whale, the new Rise, he may even fight Shelby here and take him.
He's going to go for it. Shelby's level 6. Minky 7. The smite down. The damage is good. Minky might not have enough though. He doesn't have a flash. He does need the passive. Dragon boost might be enough for a bit more damage, and Shelby gets out of there.
No flash available this time. Minky Whale not able to find a second kill. The dragon does go to Legacy though, and a free kill. 1v1 for Minky Whale onto Porky.
How?
Because
How
Rise
did Minky Whale get
does
the kill?
damage.
He does indeed. As we do see the dragon go over to Legacy. Choose again farming up. Carbon's actually come through. He's only level 5 though. Doesn't have the ulti just yet.
Flash body slam is all you need if you coordinate it with the Yasuo well enough.
Choose takes a big amount of poke. Nice trading there from Kenzie on the Victor. Gotta respect those windows from the Victor damage. One wind wall especially will tilt a 1v1 in Yasuo's favor.
Oh, completely. There's no way you can dive the Victor. We've seen it many times where someone tries to get over-aggressive, dive the Victor, and it only backfires against you. So very careful and respect the damage that the Victor can put out.
I have to say, though, a lot of successful champions we've seen against the Victor are a lot of gap closer style champions. If you could displace Victor and maybe Yasuo ulti, is that something that Legacy fancy themselves as far as ganks or even just team fights or skirmishes go?
Definitely. The cool thing about the combo of the Gragas and the Yasuo is that any kind of knockup from the body slam or Yasuo's tornado can allow the explosive cast to knock them away, as this is what happened.
Yeah, Minky coming in. That's not a replay, by the way. That's live, and that's just how Minky's able to dominate this lane.
What we have coined as the counter matchup, the Jarvan being picked into this Ryze. The new Ryze in his ridiculously low cooldowns, even with just the tier, no armor, able to take on Porky.
Ooh, Flying Jew actually might be forced to ultimate here. Does get locked up. Chelby's come in. Tallywacker trying to do damage. Pulverized onto Destiny only. They're going to try and trade here. Tower hits good. Oh, Boomerang close. Heal from Warble will save him. And Flying Jew gets away safely, almost gets his 80 carrier kill.
Almost completely backfiring right there, as the only thing used was Ignite on the side of Legacy and the ultimate from Flying Jew. The flash, the heal having to be used from this Avant lineup. They seem to have an answer, Legacy, for everything Avant is throwing at them.
And Carbon's even doing a bit of counter jungling. I know you've talked at length about Carbon's jungling style. It's really clever with the way he farms.
Yeah, if you find their jungler at all, instantly straight into the opposition jungle, places one relevant ward. If he has a Sightstone, places 4. He just tries to play so aggressively in the face of Chelby that he can't gank, or if he does, he will be spotted. And that allows the lanes, and we're seeing Minky Whale right now. Example number 1, being able to 1v1 without Chelby having an impact.
And that, to me, is the best way to describe why Carbon's such a good Nunu player. Because that is exactly what you do on Nunu.
Definitely. That is exclusively what you do on Nunu, and they are looking for this top lane.
Yeah, they want to gank here. They're
really
comfortable with their other lanes here. Shelby coming in though, 2v2. It's going to be Minky. Flash Snare comes through. Pop the passive though. Porky's got to be careful. Another Snare landing in. Ulti's good. Porky can't get out. That was so sick from Carbon. And Minky gets himself the kill.
Denying the flag and drag combo right there with that explosive cast. Super smart play from Carbon, saving the ultimate. And there's no way that Porky can fight 1v1 as it is. He's positioned super aggressively to try and get some last hits. And Minky Whale is running away with this right now.
And again, that's not what we expected. Is Spawn loved the matchup. Porky got the counter pick. But Minky, after getting first blooded, has gotten 2 different kills. The first one was a solo kill.
Definitely finding themselves in very comfortable positions here, Legacy, especially on the back of this top lane, and winning what was coined as the counter matchup. So Minky Whale going to get a very accelerated item build. The Rod of Ages will be quite quick considering he already has the tier. In fact, he's probably not too far away from it now because he has 2 kills.
No, I don't think so. And Carbon's actually staying in the top side. Shelby here again trying to gank the lane once more. And
this is so smart from Carbon.
This is. Just expecting Shelby to come and waiting.
Yeah, where the pressure is on the map is where Carbon likes to find himself.
Oh,
you can
Porky
see this.
dives in there, but now Carbon's going to show himself again, saying, I'm still here. Porky doesn't want anything to do with it. Will go down. Carbon doesn't have enough. And the 2v2, sorry, goes in favor of Avant this time.
So it was smart from Carbon, but it was not timed well enough. Minky taking so much damage, and this is why we say Jarvan should be winning the matchup, is the raw damage you can put down against someone who goes tier first. You find yourself with so much base damage against health that you can completely wreck him out of lane. It's nice to finally see that come through with the amazing gank from Shelby.
All Flying Jew dives in onto Warble. They want it. Tally pops his ulti. They're going to go all in for this one. Exhaust though down. Destiny might be the new target. Auto attacks coming through. Fleet of Foot, the Sivir passive doing work. Aggressive from Legacy, but they do not find the kill.
They don't find the kill, but they're still pressuring this lane, and what we have said should be going in favor of the Caitlyn again. The minion control, the fact that Flying Jew can be such an overbearing force in this lane. Legacy is starting to win out of laning phases that should not be happening.
No,
and this could translate into a very strong mid.
It could. I mean, Dragon's back up in a minute. Legacy will be looking to fight it here in Avant. We'll see if they can contest for it. About 600 gold up right now for Legacy. Not a massive lead by any stretch. But the lanes, you can tell, they're just showing strength and confidence here with their play.
Completely. Even Yasuo now completing that static shiv up against the Morellos of Kensti. Both mid laners are ramping up at the same pace right now. And this next team fight, when it breaks out, is going to be big.
Yeah, it's just been a farm train here. Shelby actually might have... Oh, good win wall. Choose, though, has to go back in. Does get knocked up, exhausted as well. Forced to flash away. Chaos Storm down for Victor. Can't win wall that one. And Kensti gets the kill.
The Chaos Storm completely missing right there and still able to take down Choo-Choo's. The raw damage that the Victor can put out. Chelby very smartly ganking right now, always in the right place at the right time.
And you can tell Choo-Choo's maybe has a bit more team fighting on the mind as Chelby and Carbon going to face each other again, but Carbon might fancy the 1v1 or the Rek'Sai's damage. Not a joke here at this stage. Legacy looking to reset themselves for the Dragon, but it's Chelby that finds himself there first.
A very smart jungler. In fact, both are just in different ways. Chelby always looking for the ganks to keep his laners ahead. Carbon looking for that control, and at the moment, Avant seem to have control of the Dragon.
Yep, Ward in the back, though, will give Legacy the info. Do they want to fight for it? That's the question. Porky does not have his TP. Minky does. He's going to TP right on top of that ward. Flying Juice going to come in there. Chelby will get the Dragon. Carbon, though, going to come in and gets hooked up by Destiny. Maybe a little too much. Now Tallywhacker going to ride his way in. Whoa, Porky killed Minky before the teleport could complete. One kill does go over, but it's actually to Avant.
Yeah. You do not teleport in range of a Jarvan, Minky Whale, is what we can take from this entire thing, is that, as we have mentioned many times.
Oh, ulti though coming through. Choo Choo's gets a kill onto Warble. Chelby goes away. Flying Juice setting that ulti up.
The free ultimate for a Yasuo cannot complain. Has the static shiv and armor boots right now. Starting to ramp up, and they find themselves the return kill after all is said and done. But the Dragons trade again, and Minky Whale's not finding the advantage turning into anything. Instead, he's found Porky in his face.
Yeah, he's still scaling as well. Rotovator's completed. Good timing there on the item, but does need to let that scale up. Tallywhacker, in the meantime, will get himself a turret in the bottom half of the map. Yep, just denying a few more minions before taking it away. And Choozy is getting stronger. And you mentioned those boots. What do you think of the choice there from Choozy?
He's gone for the boots to get rid of the damage from the Caitlyn and the Jarvan. Rek'Sai even doing physical damage. It's not boots for lane. That's the interesting part about this right now. What this says to me is he's going to get the Phage and potentially swap with Minky Whale in terms of where they are on the map. Maybe wanting to 1v1 against the Jarvan. There is a lot of room for outplaying a J4 as Yasuo.
Yeah, and you can see that longsword there coming through for Choo Choo's. That is going to be a Phage by all accounts here. Trinity Force Yasuo starting to pick up some steam.
Definitely picking up some steam. We're seeing a lot of Trinity Force Yasuo's. The capacity to split push and just be all around super sticky as Yasuo is one of the things he struggled with. So a very smart adaptation and giving you that max crit %.
Yeah, it just does so much. I mean, Trinity Force as an item in general does a lot, although Choo Choo's betrays us as a build for Water Cutlass.
Ruined my dreams.
With the Blade of the Ruined King, nonetheless.
Blade
How very
of ruined
appropriate.
my dreams.
Blade of ruined Rusty's dreams as he is going to the top side here. Seems like Legacy are going to give themselves a bit of a lane swap.
Yeah, you can see the rest of Avant have actually started rotating at the same time. They have put Choo-Choos into the lane swap and tried to make the 1v1 happen, but it doesn't seem like Avant want the 1v1 because everyone is near this area.
Good vision control, though, by Flying Jew, able to clear out some of the wards there and get vision of the area. Seems like they do want this split push, though, coming in, and Choo-Choo's over a ward. Going to collapse the tunnel, though.
This will be interesting. Porky, who can instantly blow up a Ryze who has sacked that health, and then Yasuo, who doesn't have much health to speak of, only the over shield. That 1v1 is going to be bloodthirst.
And if this is their plan, you can kind of tell why he's going for the blade second.
Yeah, completely. It does give you a lot of split pushing, and you can see how well it trades with an all AD Jarvan, because his base stats in terms of health are very low, but his damage is high. You can outplay him completely, and then you have the fight.
I mean, you see even the Hex Drinker there, not good stats against the AD Yasuo. So Legacy really strong-arming the top half of the map. We did have Tallywhacker down there for a little bit. Carbon flies his way in. They just want to pressure the turret and they'll get it.
They are going to be able to get this turret almost completely uncontested. Destiny looking but not going to take the opportunity. Chelby was not close enough just yet. But the Avant side, they've got the Caitlyn now in somewhat of a trough, managing to go even with the Sivir as Dew.
Yeah, Drew's found Destiny. Carbon's going to ride in there as well. Pretty squishy support here with the Nautilus. Minky gets the snare. Teleport's going to land. Shelby 3-man unborrow for the knock-up. And now Porky going to dive his way in. He wants Tallywhacker, but he gets snared up. He's going to go down. Minky gets the kill. Last breath there for Yasuo, diving into the backline. And it's carnage here for Avant, but Kensti kiting around a good ulti, but it's not quite enough here. 3 kills go to Legacy.
They pick up all the kills. They can't get Warbling Kensti, and that's a lot of...
Going in massive. Pulverize comes in. Tallywhacker, no, it's Carbon that gets himself the kill. Make that 4, Rusty.
Just as we say that, Flying Dew presses his go button again. They find another kill as a cute little wind wall stops the minions from going down. Legacy going to get their second turret, and this is just the big team fight. Porky trying to be that frontliner for the Avant lineup, but he cannot put down the relevant damage. Sivir using the spell shield, avoiding that knock-up. Meanwhile, the backline in full retreat from the Yasuo. So we're going to see it again. An amazing engage from Chelby, and this is Porky not able to do anything against the backline, sorry. Choo-Choo's getting the ultimate off, exhausting Warble, throwing them out of the fight completely, and just all around every member of Legacy seemingly having a bigger impact in this fight.
My favorite part about that replay was that Choo-Choo's hit a tornado, it hit Shelby, went in on the ulti, and then Flying Jew a second after hit a double pulverize on 2 carries. He was like, no, I want the jungler.
Makes a very awkward decision right there. He was committed to his own tornado.
I mean, he got himself, he gap closed the right distance, which is all he really wanted to do. Warble actually popping a heal. That's bad news there coming through. Minky, no ulti though, popped it already, trying to chase down Warble Gorble, but not going to get it as Shelby tunnels his way out. Legacy looking for another dragon.
Little did they know Destiny was so far out of position that they didn't actually see him with any of the minions that were pushed up. So managing to slowly lumber his way out of a dangerous position is the Nautilus. Avant in full retreat from this Legacy lineup. A Minky Whale is just gross.
I mean, we talk about his scaling. A Legacy at the point now where Avant just can't fight them right now. What are they looking for? Because it's tied in dragons. Like, the game doesn't seem too far out of reach for them. So what do Avant kind of need to look for to get themselves back from what's now, you know, maybe 3,000–4,000 gold?
Oh, Avant can still fight completely. They've got an AD Jarvan and a Victor. Anyone on the team of Legacy can die at all stages of the game. It's going to come down to execution, though. It is very important that they do execute onto the important members of Legacy. The thing is, which is the more important member? I mean, really, you've got a Ryze who's scaling, you've got Choo-Choo's on the Yasuo in your backline, and then Tallywacker who's got the spell shield. You need to kill all 3. But that's difficult.
It is. There's a lot of carries here. Is Flying Jew going to find Porky and knock him out? Looking for the Dragon. Tally gets caught in an ulti. Depth charge there as well. Choo-Choo gets caught in a gravity field. This is a great setup for Avant. He's running from the Chaos Storm. Flying Jew has the ulti, but he is going to die. He's just buying time for his team. And all of a sudden, we saw a 4-0 for Legacy. Avant answer with 3-0 and a Dragon.
And now we find ourselves with a much more even game. At 21 minutes, they're going to get the Dragon. And they answered my question. Who do you want to kill? Just kill them all simultaneously with different carries. Victor able to put down damage on a Choo-Choo's. Minky Whale not able to have an impact because Tally dies very, very quickly, just stuck inside that Cataclysm with no flash available. And this is a side of Legacy with no summoners available, of course, and that puts them in a very awkward position up against the Avant team.
Yeah, we saw Tally's initial spell shield. Unfortunately, even if you spell shield the damage from Jarvan, you still get put into the arena, and that's a problem for Tallywacker.
Yeah, he found himself well and truly in that arena, and he got pretty wrecked from that right there.
He did, as Choose returns to the mid lane, plays the Ruin King ready. He's going to push the creeps out here against the Victor. Might still again be looking for that 1v1 against Porky, might feel confident there in the matchup, but everyone's sort of scaling him, like you said, back to even, only 2,000 gold up for Legacy. Avant have shortened that lead by a couple, by about 1,000, and got themselves the second Dragon.
Yeah, no one team's starting to outscale the other whatsoever. They're both farming well. They've both got the same amount of kills. The gold is not a big enough difference to really note too much. Ryze is going to start getting very tanky, whereas the Jarvan going straight for that Tiamat, looking for the Hydra, might take a little bit longer to ramp up for tank stats. That's probably the saving grace of Legacy right there, as Ryze's effective tankiness is far superior to that of Jarvan. In saying that, the rest of the Avant side can do exactly what they did in that last fight and just blow someone up.
I mean, in terms of scaling, who are we looking at here for both sides? It almost feels like, even though Legacy have 3 carries, arguably, and Avant have... Actually, I guess they both have 3.
They've pretty much got like threats everywhere. They've got 3 threat comps on both sides. Gragas and Rex like facilitators and both supports, pretty much identical in terms of their kit usage. So in terms of scaling, they both scale super well, but they tend to fill different purposes. You've got the control mage of the mid lane here, of Kensti on Victor. It's not a Twisted Fate Atlas. Thank you for not confusing those ones.
Oh, Minky Whale, though, getting turned by Destiny and Porky. Will get out with his left and might even chase him for a couple of kills. Carbon finds the way in. Oh, Tally gets some free mana there, blocking the ace in the hole there over onto Tallywacker. But Legacy have to disengage.
I thought Carbon had completely missed that one, but Tallywacker was there with the spell shield, so no damage taken from that Caitlyn ultimate. They can completely reset. They just have a low rise.
Such a close game right now, despite the 2,000 gold lead up for Legacy. Again, it's those big turret leads.
It doesn't feel like 2,000, that's the thing. And the 4-1 in turrets is the only determining factor as to why that lead is even there. In saying that, they haven't really translated that turret advantage into anything massive. A lot of wards have been placed from Legacy in the top side of the jungle of Avant. That should be where Legacy want to focus. But, I mean, you look across the map, it's littered with blue wards.
Yeah, I mean, Legacy do have time now. Oh, Choose. This is a good play.
You walked onto a trap.
Not good. Warble gets away.
Oh.
Break stop there for a cupcake. Cost Choo-Choo's a kill.
Sometimes cupcakes are just much more tempting than Caitlyn's.
Well, that's what Chuju's opted for in that little exchange as Legacy, with no Dragon again, playing to that top side of the map like you mentioned. I feel like both teams are still looking for something here. No one is being overly aggressive, but Legacy, with the Yasuo again, are committing to quite a heavy split push.
Yeah, see, Avant have the option of taking the outer turret, so they've always got the avenue to approach, whether it's someone split pushing while Legacy try to make something happen, and then quickly rotating in with, say, a teleport from Porky. Or they could just sit in this bush and pretend that the cupcake didn't trap you before. And I guess be patient. Yeah,
Carbon going to clear out a ward, actually. Going to put some more vision down. Find a pink, actually, that can clear away. Chuju's just waiting for the wave. Again, cautious play. He is split pushing, but he's not pushing all the way up to the tier 2. He's just sitting the wave, pushing it back, and then just hiding back in the bush.
He's splitting to an extent where it is completely safe. He's just in a side lane to make sure that someone stays there with him. He's not trying to 1v1 that person just yet. He may find 2 people, though.
Yep, not a 1v1. He likes great win over to block that dredge line. That was really nice.
That was very nice. He saves his own life potentially there. Jarvan always going to be able to blow you up if you're caught. And speaking of...
Yo, Destiny had no ulti. Porky, though, going to get ulted up by Chuju's. Who's going to keep chasing through. Oh, nice. My God, that play. Good flash from Porky to get away, though.
He has to blow the flash to stay alive. The rest of Legacy noting this 1v1, the fact that there is no teleport. And Chuju's can either choose to group now, but he has no ultimate, or continue to split push, force Jarvan back to his lane, and then they can address the mid lane.
Yeah, Legacy actually going to push together here. Chuju's ulti halfway done, though, on cooldown. That's a pretty short one on the last breath. It's not even rank 3 just yet. Legacy playing the map nicely. A very good split pushing by Chuju's.
Yeah, a lot of map movement, a lot of ward vision and fast-paced random rotations that Avant cannot respond to. Side wave control is a big factor in this game right now. Legacy have been controlling that exceptionally. You can see the rotation, very possible to just go to the top lane right now because your minions have started to push.
What about Warble? Is he sort of waiting for items here as well? Because both AD carries are close, but obviously Caitlyn needs a bit more time to sort of get big.
Caitlyn looking to finish the Phantom Dance and most likely move from that into the next item, and that's when we'll see Caitlyn start to have that big impact again. Maybe with the last Whisper, might be a Bloodthirster depending on what they wish to itemize. In saying that, Siva has the Phantom Dancer completed, is not in a trough at all. In fact, is in a big power spike and has the ultimate to enable the rest of her team. Caitlyn, solely relying on doing her own forms of damage, is in... Oh my God, he took damage with the Grump.
It's a good Grump ward. Oh, Chuju's might find a kill here. Instead gets the Grump. Nails it.
All in all, great bait.
Yeah, level 60. What?
Baron.
What? Yeah. Avant! Where did your wards go?
So I didn't see that either, to be honest with you.
That was a really sneaky Baron. I could see the whole map and I missed it.
Very smart ward control finally coming up with a Baron in the end there. The fact that Chuju's has been splitting bot lane has provided a lot for the team of Legacy. They have been almost for 5 minutes now placing vision in the top side of the map, rotating back and forth, and then they just caught the Avant lineup either off guard or on a recall rotation and just snuck that out easy.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get Dragon, but if the Legacy plan is to split push until they're ready to team fight, that Baron buff's going to help a whole lot more for that, and the gold lead sort of springs back up in favor of Legacy. 4,000 gold ahead now.
Yeah, they're going to be able to... They can be content with a 1-3-1 even right now. Yasuo very good at 1v1ing the Jarvan at this stage. We've seen that as a fact. And level 16 as well right now, I believe, Chuju's. He is a monster.
This is just the nice thing about Exhaust Yasuo, especially with these items at that level.
Yeah.
With Exhaust up, you can just kind of 1v1 anyone.
It's a nice itemization choice and a nice summoner spell usage here from Chuju's. Brilliant adaptions to the rest of the Avant side. In saying that, we have talked a lot about the Legacy side. The Avant side, they need to find something. They're so good at team fighting if they catch priority targets. Legacy kind of playing them for the fool at the moment, just running them around in circles. But Avant needs something soon.
Yeah, it's funny to hear you say execution heavy when you're describing these comps. And I agree, and these teams especially are great at team fighting. But Legacy apparently just don't want to take the risk. The tower's dead. Warble might be as well if he isn't too careful. Legacy are committing to the 1-3-1, and it's working out a treat.
It's definitely working out. There's no answer to both of the split push options. You send Porky to one, and you have to send Warble to the other. But Warble will die in both. That is the thing. And then if you don't have Warble in the side lane, you can't stop them from pushing in.
No, it's tricky to say the least here for Avant. Porky's at 3 levels down to this Yasuo as well.
I mean, even the Baron minions are starting to put pressure onto the turrets. Everywhere right now from Avant is being pressured. They have to press the go button soon.
Yep, Baron buff up for about a quarter more of its duration. So Legacy have a bit more time in this exact formation. And Avant might just be waiting, hoping to keep the turrets up, and then pull the trigger once the Baron wears off. But the timing is everything in this one.
You know, the brilliant part about the comp that Legacy are running is the 3-man is so good. They've got wave clear, disengage, tankiness, even the Sivir spell shield.
Kenzie, though, gets good damage onto Minky. That'll force him off the turret for a little bit. I mean, it's Minky, he's always going back in. I like this group from Legacy. Yeah, they're going to take the Tally. Oh, Tally needs one more hit. Carbon gets locked up. Tally will get it. That's a great break there from Legacy.
And that's very important. They have rotated Choo-Choo's mid. Minky's on his way now also. It seems to me like they don't need to push as far as they have anymore. That open inhibitor always going to be an avenue of attack for Legacy.
Yeah, playing it a bit safer here at Legacy, but Baron was wearing off. Good catch by Shelby. Ward there on top of Flying Jew. They're going to chase him down. Porky as well. Really wants to ult somebody. It's been a while. Oh, Flying Jew does have his ulti. He might be okay. Flash up as well. Have to think he'll be okay, but the whole team's coming from. CC starts. He pops his ultimate. Might line something up. Carbon's trying to go in. Gets the ulti, but it's not quite enough. That's going to force the flash. He's still alive. Headbutts out. Kenzie, the chaos stop. Chasing in. Oh, no. What a sad way to go. Kenzie gets the kill.
They find the kill, but a lot used and a lot of time soaked into this Flying Jew right now. The Alistar takes so long to kill. And I mean, the sidewave again, the control of Legacy forcing Warble back. They can't get anything from actually getting that kill. All they find is some raw gold.
Well, thankfully, there are no major buffs up right now, so Avant won't be losing a Dragon or a Baron anytime soon. But these carries are starting to get stronger. Let's talk about Minky in a second. He's actually almost got a death cap completed. But 3-item Yasuo, effectively 3-item Sivir. We're talking about triple threat comps. The 3 threats on Legacy looking a bit healthier.
They are looking a lot healthier. You can see all of the big items completed. The important items now from Legacy are done. Even the Locket. And I don't even want to get started if Minky finishes a death cap instead of what Minky's doing. But let's not talk about that till it is done again.
We'll have to see.
Let's talk about the side of Avant a little bit more, though. We've got all of the big items are starting to get completed here. Victor actually having the Zonias. And you're right, they are quite behind from the side of Legacy comparatively. But they've got all of the items that they actually require to kill anyone.
How much time do you think Avant need? Because, again, we talk about this a lot when you have similar scaling comps. Execution is obviously important, but you kind of want the game to be neutral. As Carbon caught out there almost gives Avant a nice pick back, but Legacy going to chase in instead. They do not ult for Porky. Massive gravity field that's cutting off everyone as Choo-Choo gets exhausted. Tally getting chased out by Shelby. Warble doing massive damage along with the Victor, but the front line is going to die there for Avant. Porky and Shelby already dead. Choo-Choo's going massive looking for a Q. Finds Destiny instead, chases him down, gets the knock-up, last breath for the kill, and that'll give Legacy an inhibitor.
A convenient minion wave. Choo-Choo's saving grace. They find another kill. They get the inhibitor now. They don't have the Baron or Dragon available, so they'll just take their wins and reassess what they're going to do. Maintain the vision control that they have done so well for this game. You can see it everywhere. And this fight right here, the wind wall actually does a lot of work for the Legacy lineup. The fact that Tallywhacker has Carbon peeling for him when he was by himself. Shelby alone has no way to answer this. And Choo-Choo's manages to capitalize using that flash and then the minion wave, dodging the trap too, which is quite nice in between there. And they find themselves with the 3rd kill of that fight, the inhibitor. And now Legacy, as if they weren't already being a little bit cheesy and controlling enough, are able to go off.
Yeah, and 7,500 gold up now for Legacy. I was just about to ask you before that all happened, what do Avant need to neutralize? I'll ask you again here. Again, similar comps, you have to think that at even gold, it's just down to execution. How much catching up do Avant need to do at this point?
I mean, realistically, and I have mentioned this, is the fact that they don't need items to catch up too much. They have the team comp to be able to kill anyone that they would like from the Legacy lineup. We've seen them even kill Flying Jew at one stage, and he is just disgustingly tanky. So what's it going to take is not so much items, it's more so time in that they need vision control or just to control a certain area of the map. They can't sit in base and let Legacy play them for the full. They need to be the ones initiating and going at Legacy.
Yeah, we've seen the over-the-wall picks from Victor a number of times. His Righteous Glory pop. Carbon finds a body slam, but Warble with a great... No, he didn't flash. Just missed there from Carbon. Tallywhacker burnt his ulti there as well. Flying Jew punts Shelby away with his head. Legacy won a Dragon.
Yeah. I mean, there's no real way for Avant to stop this Dragon without all-inning.
They're trying it. Minky gets ulted. They're going to go back in. Shelby diving in. Porky's on top of Choo's as well. Good ult from Carbon and disengage, but Choo has to dodge way too much. He is going to go down. Kenzie going to get the kill. Flying Jew's already ulted. Avant, good pick there onto Choo-Choo's. Now 4v4. Happy to fight Porky. Massive double knockup, but Tallywhacker still doing good damage, but is it enough? Tally now getting chased out. The Victor damage, absolutely disgusting. But Warble out of position. Tally going off. Full Olaf mode. Sivir does get the double kill onto Kenzie there as well, and Porky barely got out alive.
And this is the thing with the Legacy comp. Avant initiates super well. They find Choo Choo's. He was stuck in a Cataclysm by himself. The lone soldier goes down eventually. And, I mean, they make the pick. They try and capitalize on that pick into something else, but Avant don't have a whole lot of follow-up after that. Minkyuail goes down, but then Tallywhacker is still alive. And because Legacy have 3 threats, he can still carry them through the game.
Yeah, for me, if I'm Legacy, I'm just really happy Kenzie doesn't have any more items, because Victor did an absurd amount of work in that fight. Oh, Flying Juice found Porky, headbutts him back in. Hello, friends, welcome to the Baron Pit. Porky's like, nah, see ya, mate. Don't want anything to do with that one. But Minky's come in. He's onto Chelby. He's going to lock him down. Might snare him enough here. Legacy trying to finish the Baron. Chelby dives in, but he doesn't get it. Gets knocked up instead. Pops the locker to keep him alive. Too much CC. Minky chasing out carries. Porky almost dead. And Choo Choo's casually strolls and says, thanks for the Baron buff, team.
Yeah, Minky actually having that death cap now, able to do a lot of damage in the very questionable manner. And they find themselves with the Baron again. Another smart rotation. 7-1 in turrets right now. Legacy, very commanding spot. They do get everything that they need in this game to find themselves with a victory. And, I mean, there's casualties left, right, and center in their attempts to do so, but the end result is still becoming the same at this stage.
Yeah, 10,000 gold up for Legacy means they are primed to close this game. Avant, we talked about them needing some time. Going to need a little bit more here in this one. Maybe we look to the 45-minute mark, but right now it is all momentum in favor of Legacy.
I was going to say, that's a big Wind Warrior because he had the Elixir of Iron there, but he's back down to normal levels. So never mind that point. Legacy are completely in control. They're looking towards bottom now. The top lane minions have been pushed in favor of Legacy, and Minky doesn't have the teleport available, so he's going to rotate back with the rest of the team, and with a 10,000 gold lead, I've no doubt you're looking to fight.
No, not at all. Tallywhacker as well. 4 items now completed. You saw the work he did in that last team fight. We made the joke about Tallywhacker Melee Sivir going full Olaf in that last fight, but it paid off here. Good gravity field there from Kenzie. Keeps him off, but Carbon constantly threatening the backline.
Keep your eyes on Carbon and Dew. If they can get an amazing initiation, watch the Yasuo follow that one up to it.
Might have found Warble. Carbon's looking for it. Dew goes in. Not going to follow in. Actually, they're on Shelby. They want to kill the frontline. Porky going to be the next target. There's too much damage here. Legacy get 2 kills. The frontline's dead. Kenzie has to do so much work along with Warble to stop what's happening. And that Chaos Storm's already gone.
But the Baron minions are going to be very overbearing. There's no way the Victor can wave clear.
Oh, Minkyuail. Maybe caught out. Carbon going to charge his way in. He's onto Warble. Minky dishing out damage. Kenzie gets the kill. Flying Jew. Double pulverize there as Choo Choo's just trying to keep them out. And Tallywhacker just wants to finish the game. Choo Choo's going back in. Gets the flash. Good wind wall down as well. Gravity field now top of him. He will go down. But Legacy managed to finish the game. Very tense. But a good win there for Legacy. They hold second.
A convincing victory from Legacy there, and a very nice team comp from Avant. They gave it a great crack and tried to get a victory in there, but they could not get through the lineup of Legacy. The wave manipulation, the vision control, and just the all-around team comp plays to their strengths perfectly. Legacy pull out the win.
Yeah, they definitely made Avant work for it towards the end there. They're for a team fight heavy team, and I will call Legacy that. That's what they are. They really dragged that game out until they felt absolutely sure they could win team fights. But you saw, as soon as they got themselves into that situation, they won team fights.
Yeah, team fight oriented team, but playing with the 1-3-1 split push because they were against the team fight comp and their execution heavy comp of Avant. The Jarvan has to combo his stuff perfectly or he will lose the fight. And we saw that happen. Their Legacy pull out the clutch victory.
Yeah, really great stuff there from Legacy. Tough, honestly, there for Avant as well. They looking for a win. They've been such a strong side. They gave the Chiefs one of the best runs for their money they've had all split long, but wasn't quite enough. Their Legacy seemed to be very strong moving in towards playoffs.
Definitely. The closer we get and the longer we go through this split, Legacy seem to be improving and surging towards the finals.
Well, we are going to pop back outside to Atlas' spawn. Let's get a little bit more on the Rise versus Jarvan matchup.
Thank you very much, Pastry Time. And once again, a dominant performance from Legacy. Avant weren't able to recreate the situation that they created last time.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. And, you know, you got to give credit where credit's due. Legacy picked that game apart and really broke it down to a basic level and just were able to execute better than what Avant were. But you have to talk about the fact that Avant, they obviously picked winning lane. Jarvan up there in the top lane. That is supposed to be an outright win for Jarvan against Rise. The Caitlyn versus Sivir matchup, we talk about it all the time. That's supposed to be a win for Caitlyn, but they just weren't able to get ahead in these Rises, even in these lanes. even with dragging Chelby all over the map early game to get the early gank execution down, and it just fell apart after they weren't able to get an advantage.
Yeah, Mickey Well in the top lane really impressed me on that rise as well. Able to actually bring it to Porky in a 1v1 situation after getting ganked in the early game. Everything was working for Avant there on the top side of the map, but then Mickey turned it around with all of the aggression that he has.
Yeah, it certainly did, and this is just the point. Counter picks don't win games. Do you know what win games? Team coordination and vision control, and we have an example of when that just went astray for Avant Gaming. So if we pull it up, this is a Baron. You can see he's a nice big purple monster, gives you a great buff, helps you push down turrets. They'll already running a 1-3-1. But most importantly, let's take a look at the mini-map, because right now you can see 3 approaching wards on the side of a Legacy. No way that they are able to get in there without being spotted out. And, you know, these guys on the bottom side of the map, they're chasing a Yasuo. He's having a good time picking up all the farm he wants to, but there is no vision whatsoever of that going down. I think it was 27 minutes into the game. You can't leave an area of the map uncontested like that, especially when it is a Baron. They used it to great effect. They're already 2,000 gold ahead. Within 5 minutes, they had expanded that out to about a 5,000-6,000 gold lead, knocked down the rest of the outer turrets. And, you know, this is something that we credit the Chiefs for. Now Legacy's second team in the competition, starting to control the map incredibly well.
Yeah, I want to talk about the turrets for a moment as well, because what Legacy were doing, a fantastic effort on pushing down the turrets early on in the game. Tallywacker dropped his as quickly as they could, of course. Choo Choo's there in the mid lane, lots of AD damage, able to get his turret down very quickly. They had an early push to take the mid lane inner turret down as well, and it just meant that so much of the map was open for Legacy. They were able to get in there, get all those deep wards down, and make sure that no one was seeing them do that Baron.
Yeah, exactly right. And, you know, I like what you say. Open up the map with a Sivir, with a Yasuo, these people that want to be highly mobile and get around. And that's what they did early in the game, able to push every advantage they could find.
Yeah, of course. So, look, everything going fantastic for them. And we do have Choo Choo's the victor for Legacy there on the desk with our caster. So let's throw it over to Pastry Time and Rusty to have a chat to him.
Thanks again, Atkinson Spawner. I do, in fact, have a victorious Choo Choo's. How you feeling after you win, buddy?
Good.
Good, yeah.
Not bad.
Not
good.
bad.
I would imagine you'd feel quite good.
You're a very modest winner there. So let's talk about the game, of course. First of all, how deliberate was that draft for you guys, because it felt very intentional. You got the Rise, you got the Yasuo into that Victor, who you've, again, recently said, very strong top 3 mid-champion.
Yeah.
How did it all go for you? Were you guys happy with the draft that you put together?
Yeah, we really didn't expect their first 2 picks. I believe they were hovering Morgana, and they took Rek'Sai, but like, it was very strange. It's not what we planned for them to do, but we saved both of our solo laners for the final 2 picks, and we realized that like the only thing that we thought could answer Yasuo split, like a 1-3-1 split push, was Rise. So we took Rise and we took Yasuo, and we pretty much knew there was nothing that Porky could play which could deal with a Yasuo split push. And they picked Jarvan to counter the Rise, but like Jarvan isn't really a problem for Yasuo.
And it was very clever, even the itemization that you had in the mid lane up against the magic damage Victor, going for armor boots and the blade to actually split push against the Jarvan. So that was your entire plan from the start, was it the 1-3-1?
Yeah, I mean, like you can imagine them just thinking like he's building armor versus Victor. So like the split push was coming, and I think Jarvan built a Hex Drinker for the Rise as well, and that just made the lane like brutal for him once I came.
I mean, speaking of that lane, what did Minky have for breakfast this morning? Because whatever happened in that top lane, he got first blooded, and then just casually gets a couple solo kills.
I honestly don't understand. I remember we were doing Dragon, and then suddenly Rek'Sai's top, and then he almost 2v1s them, and I was just like, okay, Rise, balance, very good champion. But like, I don't know, Minky played so well that game. Like the solo kill on Jarvan gave us so much map pressure. It was a really crucial time in the game as well. But I don't know, Minky always seems to play really well.
Yeah, Minky's definitely been impressive recently. I guess then, so cool to hear that the whole plan was from the draft going on. Where did you feel comfortable in that game? Because you set up that 1-3-1 relatively early, despite not having Dragon control.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that they didn't have an answer to the split push. Throughout, like, from the beginning of the game, we knew they didn't have an answer to the split push. So I knew that the lane versus Victor as Yasuo is kind of a struggle. So we wanted to get Yasuo out of lane as soon as possible. So we did sort of sacrifice a lot of vision and a lot of like resources to make sure this like transition from laning phase to split pushing was good. And it seemed to go well.
And a very, very smart transition in saying that. But the biggest factor I found while watching that game was the fact that you snuck a Baron completely uncontested. How did that even happen? Because the spectator couldn't even find that one.
We knew, really?
Yeah, I missed it. I'm like, I can literally see the whole map and I missed it.
Well, we knew that like no one. We knew that like they were sending people to bot side, and I think Carbon made a call that like, wait, we can sneak a Baron because Victor was bot side, who was their main damage source.
Yeah.
So he just like was really confident in the call, and I think Victor was doing Gromp, and I was just messing with them, pretty much distracting them, and got a free Baron.
Yep, worked out great. So congratulations, Cheers, on the win there. But we are going to move into our final game of the evening. Let's pop back out to Atlas and Spawn for Absolute versus Sin.
Thank you very much, Pastry Time. And exactly right. The OCS teams meeting once again on the Rift, but Sin haven't necessarily looked like this prodigy side that we were expecting coming into the OPL.
Yeah, Sin came into the OPL. We were expecting these huge